All right, ladies and gentlemen, financial advisors from around the world. I am Bill Winterberg of FPPad.com, broadcasting to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. And with me today are two leading thought leaders as well as vendors, owners of companies that are providing great technology products to financial advisors. So let me welcome on today's program Corey Westphal, president of Mobile Assistant. Corey, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks, Bill.
And then to Corey's right, I guess to your left, my right, is Brian McLaughlin, CEO of Redtail Technology. Brian, thanks for joining me.
Hey, Bill.
All right, gentlemen. So the reason why we're talking today is to discuss some of the ways that Mobile Assistant and Redtail are integrated. You know, a lot of advisors really have confusion when it comes to the term integration and what that really means, because it might mean just single sign-on for some providers, but integration may mean some deeper connections. So as I understand it, and I'm sure many of your users very well know, that you have between Redtail and Mobile Assistant much deeper integration versus single sign-on. So tell me about your integration, how you started talking about it, and the steps that you went through to bring it to your audience of users.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't even know how far back it started. It was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That we started the integration talks and figuring out what was going on. I mean, Mobile Assistant, when you guys came to us, it kind of blew our mind. It's, you know, the type of organization and how you run it with the people actually doing the text transcriptions and everything. And I mean, just it was amazing. But I think what was really even more powerful and really cool is when you said, you know, things like we can actually integrate voice to text.
Yes.
Because I sit there. I've told many customers and other presentations where I've said I've always had this vision of like this kind of sci-fi voice controlled Redtail, which I always thought would be, you know, kind of wicked cool to see something like that. And then Corey came along and he's like, yeah, we can totally do something like that. You know, so that I think is probably where it started. You know, kind of the amazement of it. You know, this partnership started here, and you know, obviously becoming friends over the last couple of years as well.
Yeah.
Has really helped elevate the level of integration and what we can do with the tools.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead, Corey, before I ask you the next question.
Yeah, well, Bill, what I found is in the financial industry especially that there was two really powerful tools out there. There's the CRM and Redtail that a lot of advisors are starting to use more, and was becoming a really integral part of their practice. And to go along with that, a lot of advisors started using mobile dictation services like Mobile Assistant. So the idea was, how do we make those two really powerful tools work together so that there's an easy way for advisors to get information into Redtail to make that process just even easier for them. So that's what, you know, a couple of years ago when we started talking about how we could work more together, to me it was a no-brainer that was going to just make life easier for advisors and make our two, you know, our service and the Redtail really work well together.
Yeah.
Excellent. So the key here is getting notes efficiently added to any CRM, Redtail included, and you guys seem to be just really making a lot of strides in the advisory place, especially, you know, Brian, you've been recognized in the financial planning software surveys as the leading CRM for a couple years running. I know the stats and the survey metrics kind of changed this year, but for all intents and purposes, and as far as I'm concerned, I think Redtail really rules the roost for, I guess, 3 years running now. So first off, it starts with notes and getting notes integrated. How did that connection happen? What did it take to get notes dictated and automatically populated into CRM? You know, maybe Corey and Brian, talk to how you identify, or how people that are doing dictations, how they identify which client they're talking about, and how that programmatically gets applied behind the scenes in the Redtail CRM.
Well, I'll start with just really in general how it works. And with Mobile Assistant, for people that aren't familiar with what our service is and how we're different than like a voice-to-text software, these are real transcriptionists, real live professionals that are listening to the dictation for the advisors. So when a client of ours that's using our service, they call in, they simply state the client name that's in Redtail that they want to associate the note with, and then they speak their notes. when they're done and they hang up the telephone, when they're done, those notes are gonna automatically gonna get emailed to the advisor, but they're also gonna get posted directly to the dashboard on Redtail. Now from there, the advisor can take the note and do something with it, assign it to a contact, do other things that are going to make that note easily used within Redtail, and an easy way to get that information without having to type the notes in.
Yeah.
And that's
so I mean, they can go ahead and from there they can add the note to multiple contacts. They can split a note apart for really long dictation, which is normal. They can go ahead and split those into multiple records. They can make activities out of it. And then from our side, what we delivered was the API so that their people can look up by name information to actually perform the linking, because that was the problem, right?
Right.
You couldn't translate the name properly if it was kind of a funny last name. It's like if the typing wasn't identical,
right,
you can't do that one-to-one matching to a CRM record. So this allows that higher level of accuracy by them actually being able to sort of reference and say, okay, well, just give me all the bills. Okay, this is the one we were talking about or was mentioned in the audio, because that's the hard part of the translation is that audio, the text, and making sure it's one-to-one matching perfect. Yeah. So that's part of that uniqueness of the integration that nobody else really has.
Yeah, very cool. So there's that API that you made available that the transcriptionists have the ability to see some of those details, because my name might be with a BERG at the end or a BURG in the end.
Exactly.
And you're able to see that out of the Redtail information and not have to guess about what it is.
Right, and it allows the client to not have to be so specific where they're spelling out names. They say, make this note available for Brian McLaughlin. The transcriptionist is going to have the names listed that they're going to be able to access to just make sure we match it and get it to the correct client record.
Very nice. Now, it started off as a purely note-based way, or a way to get notes into Redtail CRM, and I think that you're expanding that where you can start doing some reminders and tasks and calendar items. Can you walk me through that?
Yeah, I mean, it's what you call work jobs.
Yeah.
So work jobs are basically where, I mean, you probably best describe it. It's like actually adding a task. Actually, since you have a human listening to it, and it's not just a robot or some automated system trying to parse voice. They can listen to it and say, I want to make an activity directly. So rather than having it as a pending note in Redtail, it actually does the action for them. So that's the part of that uniqueness.
Right, and that's why the integration is so powerful, Bill, is that it's going to allow the advisor to speak the action that they want to have happen in Redtail versus having to go into the software and do it physically and manually on the computer. They're going to be able to actually speak what the kind of action is that they want to happen, which I think is, as we make this enhancement better and better and the integration better, it's going to really change things for advisors. It'll just save them even more time.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, Brian, you came out with a new set of mobile apps to make a transition out to mobile access to things like Redtail. You now have a suite of mobile apps that are available free to all Redtail users, but also, Corey, you're starting to do mobile app development as well. So walk me through the mobile app development and what kind of preview you have for your users in 2013.
Yeah, thanks. We're really excited about our iPhone application that we're launching. It'll be available to our clients by the end of the year. It's going to be free to any mobile assistant user. And what the iPhone app is going to help with our clients is it's going to allow them to have a screen that's going to have a recording aspect to it. So right now, when a client of ours uses the mobile assistant service, they call a telephone number, then they speak their notes.
Right.
Now, what this allows the advisors to do is to have a physical microphone on their iPhone where they can pause it, they can rewind it, they can view their notes from previous dictations, and it allows them to not have to go through the phone lines to send the audio to us. They're going to be able to do it on their phone, which will save the file and send it to us. Now, what that does for us is it allows that audio to be even higher quality, which means higher quality notes.
Yeah, that's an awesome little app. He was just demoing it for me this morning when he came in the office. It's pretty slick.
It is pretty neat. So is there any additional cost for that app to the mobile assistant user?
There's not. We really have the same approach that Brian and Redtail do when it comes to enhancements to our service. Is we want to make it better for the advisor and make it more valuable to have a monthly subscription for Mobile Assistant. Part of that, to me, is providing those type of services like iPhone app. We'll have a Droid app later next year. And to me, there's no reason to charge for it because we just want to make our service more valuable for the advisors.
Awesome. And to that point, let's talk about pricing by and large for Mobile Assistant, because Brian, I still think you rule with the $65 a month for a database that supports up to 15 users. So Corey, what's the pricing like on Mobile Assistant, and how do you get that integration to Redtail? Walk me through the pricing of that.
Sure. The retail rate for Mobile Assistant is $72.50 a month. But what we have a promotion running with Redtail that we were going to run just till the end of this year that we're going to extend for a whole nother year now, and that brings it down, the pricing down to $45.99 a month. It's it's less than, it's about $550 a year. And what the way the integration is set up is so simple. That's one of the things that we've really tried to do, is to make it so easy to sign up and so easy to get the integration working. And that's why, working with Brian, we've really tried to make it simple. All they have to do is provide us the Redtail information when they first sign up for our service, and we turn that integration on, and it's done. They don't have to do anything in Redtail to make it work. It just, the notes will automatically start showing up in Redtail.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's the beauty of these integrations, where they're just super simple, right?
Well, it's great that everything just is so transparent to the end advisor. So the less that the advisor has to do to set up Redtail, make the connection out to Mobile Assistant, and kind of spot check or perform QA to make sure that things are getting added where they're supposed to. No advisor wants to do that. They don't want to babysit technology. They'd love to have very tight and well thought out integrations where things just work and they don't need all this constant QA and spot checking.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this is an example of that. I mean, it's a great example of that, a partnership and an integration working really well.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Corey and Brian, Corey, where can advisors get more information about Mobile Assistant?
Well, they can go to our website, which is mobileassistant.us, and they can sign up for a free trial right on the homepage as well, where they get a 20-minute dictation trial. So if they're curious about dictation, how it can help them, and how it'll work with Redtail, the integration can be set up on the trial as well. So they can try it for quite a few different notes and see how it works for them. And then when they do want to go sign up, they just need to remember to use the coupon code Redtail, and that'll give them that 35% discount off our retail rate. If they want to call us directly, they can do that. It's 888-373-1916.
Great, Corey. And what about you, Brian? I'm sure there might be some Mobile Assistant users that have another CRM. Maybe they're curious about Redtail. Where can they get more information about Redtail CRM?
Yeah, so Redtail is really easy to get started with. You just go to www.redtailtechnology.com. Of course, you can call us as well. The information on the website. If you use a different CRM, part of our services that makes us unique is the ability to transition that data into Redtail. We don't charge for that. Obviously, you have mobile apps and all that as part of the service as well, plus huge number of other things available. So just try a 30-day trial. It's a full working trial. Integrations all work. You can do everything in probably about 30 seconds to get it set up.
Very nice, gentlemen. Well, Corey, thank you for joining me today. Brian, thank you for joining me today and walking through the ideas about the concept of integration and actually working through it and providing those APIs out there. It's pretty nice, exciting to know that you can just get together, have an idea of wouldn't it be nice if our software could do this together, and see it be rolled out to your advisory community just to help them be more efficient.
Yeah, we got a little bit more of that to do today. So
we do. Well, thanks for having us, Bill. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, gentlemen. Have a great week. And for those advisors watching, don't forget to tune in Friday at 4:15 Eastern, 1:15 Pacific for another on-air broadcast. So thanks again for your attention today. Bye-bye.